6 months had passed since Vedran first felt the mountain's chill. Now, the morning air atop Mount Vodno felt like an old greeting. He moved with a quiet, efficient grace, his fingers checking the tension of the crossbar and the security of the nuts. He no longer needed to look at the manual. The glider was an extension of his own skeleton. He wasn't just checking equipment, he was listening to the metal and fabric, ensuring every part was ready for the dialogue with the sky. A shadow fell over the wing, and a young man named Bojan stepped forward. He was 17, with the same wide-eyed, frantic energy Vedran remembered having in his own chest just a few seasons ago. Bojan's hands were shaking as he gripped his harness. "The wind feels angry today," Bojan whispered, looking toward the valley. Vedran stood up, wiping grease from his palms, seeing his own past reflected in the boy's nervous gaze. Vedran walked over and placed a steadying hand on Bojan's shoulder. He didn't offer empty platitudes about safety. He knew the boy needed the truth. "The wind isn't angry, Bojan. It's just indifferent," Vedran said, his voice calm and resonant. "It doesn't want to hurt you, but it won't help you if you lie to it. Check your carabiners again, not because you're scared, but because you're a pilot." From the edge of the launch site, Marco watched them, a faint smile tugging at the corners of his mouth. He didn't intervene. He saw the way Vedran moved, the lack of wasted motion, the way he anticipated Bojan's questions before they were asked. Marco walked over, handing Vedran a specialized altimeter. "He's lucky to have a mentor who still remembers the taste of the first flight adrenaline," Marco noted, his eyes showing a new level of respect. Later that afternoon, Astra arrived, unrolling a different kind of map on the hood of the truck. This wasn't the familiar contours of Vodno. These were the jagged, intimidating lines of the Shar Mountains, further north. "Vodno is the playground," Astra said, looking at Vedran with a challenge in her eyes. "The Shar Mountains are the cathedral. Higher altitudes, unpredictable thermals, and peaks that touch the clouds. Are you ready to stop visiting the sky and start living in it?" Vedran traced the path toward Titov VRV, the highest peak. The scale was immense compared to what he had mastered. He felt a familiar flutter in his stomach, not the paralyzing fear of a student, but the sharp, calculated thrill of a professional. Astra tapped a specific ridge on the map. "The air is thinner there," she warned. "Your reactions have to be faster, and your endurance has to be absolute. We start training for the ascent next week." The preparation changed. Vedran spent his evenings running up the steep trails of the city hills, a heavy pack strapped to his back to simulate the weight of the gear at high altitude. He pushed his body until his lungs burned, finding a strange satisfaction in the struggle. Mastery, he realized, wasn't just about the moments of flight. It was about the discipline of the hours spent on the ground, building the strength to earn those minutes in the clouds. On the day of Bojan's first solo flight, the conditions were perfect. Vedran stood at the very edge of the launch ramp, holding the nose of Bojan's glider to keep it steady in the breeze. He looked into Bojan's eyes and saw the shift, the moment the fear turned into focus. "Trust your training and listen to the wing," Vedran commanded. "When you feel the lift, don't fight it. Invite it in." With a final shout of encouragement from Vedran, Bojan took the 3 running steps that would change his life. The glider caught the air, and suddenly the boy was no longer a creature of the earth. Vedran watched him soar, a small silhouette against the vast blue of the Skopje Valley. There was a profound, quiet joy in seeing someone else find their wings, a different kind of flight that didn't require leaving the ground. As the sun began to dip toward the Shar Mountains, Vedran prepared his own launch. He looked toward the northern horizon, where the great peaks waited like a promise. He was 18, a mentor to some, and a student to the great heights, caught in the beautiful middle of his journey. With a confident stride, he ran into the void, the weight of the glider vanishing as the wind claimed him once more, carrying him toward the next great challenge.